a new institution which will be independent, well-equipped, professionally structured to tackle financial and serious crimes decisively. All those who thought that they would have immunity, as Minister Utimas explained it so well, they thought they would be protected, they will have immunity, or they belong to such a community that you can't touch them. This, no. If they commit financial crimes, I ask them to think again, because we will be ruthless against those who interfere with that agency. Building a credible, investigative authority is not an easy task. It is complex. It will require careful planning and expertise with a solid legal framework. We must create an institution that people can trust, not what LICAC was. They must be able to trust them. It must be efficient, and it must be, I stress again, free from any external influence. No one will be allowed to do it. And we will draw inspiration, Madam Speaker, from international best practices and also seek the views of those who are already involved in our criminal justice system. That is why we need this amendment. It's a first step so that the institution respects our democratic principles until we replace it. And we need to restore, Madam Speaker, the public confidence in the institutions that we bring up. Ensure that justice is pursued with rigor and impartiality. With today's amendment, we are securing the independence of the Director of Public Policy. In fact, we are restoring what was taken away from the Director of Public. When did you see, Mr. Speaker, a Commissioner of Police challenging the DPP in court? Never happened before. It just shows the mentality of the MSM. Even that they went to the extent. They tried to arrest the former DPP. He had to run away from his house and get protection from the judge in court. This is why we have to have this new National Crime Agency, which will be empowered, as I say, to conduct inquiries professionally without any favoritism. Nobody will be allowed to intervene with them, interfere in the conduct of the investigation. They will have specialists, skilled, financial investigators. I don't know whether some try not to do the job properly. We have this. They derail the inquiry, and you see the guilty goes away. This will not happen. There will be financial investigators who will know what to do, and they will have the decision to prosecute. The decision will rest with the DPP. They will do the investigation. They must be separate. It cannot be together. The agency will have full authority to investigate. And the cases will be based on facts, not on personal or political considerations, on facts. And then there will be a scrutiny at the apex by the prosecution services. So you'll get checks and balances. This is why we want to have also a prosecution service, which will be set up under the aegis of the DPP. During the past 10 years, Madam Speaker, there has been unanimous condemnation of the ICAP. Unanimous. It became politically, a politically perverse institution. And at the helm, a self-appointed monarch. To show that immoral minds know no limits when in power, the previous regime, I think I find it an insult to the intelligence of Mauritians. Adopted the Financial Crimes Commission Act, not only to prosecute opponents, but to stop certain investigations, as my honorable colleague, Honorable Utim explained so clearly. Files were closed. Angus Road is an example. You gave many examples. It became paradoxically a symbol of state corruption, It violated the Constitution of Mauritius, attacking the functions of the DPP. This was a dark chapter of our history. The former DPP himself has said that the FCC was created to usurp the power of the DPP, and furthermore, with the mass surveillance that we know happened, including members of the judiciary, including everybody, in fact. The former DPP said he realizes now that what was being said in his office by his own people, maybe on the phone, the police knew before they go to court, they knew. Is this what we want for this country? Then we abolish everything. But this will change. A red line, I must say a very red line, has been crossed. This cannot be. Their minds were so corrupt that they were obsessively bent on replacing the office of the DPP by the infamous, what I think it was called Public Prosecution Commission. They appointed their own, I could say, scoundrels at the helm of all criminal prosecutions in our country. Honorable Juval himself says he is not here. How is his own father resigned? There were many other reasons probably, but that was what tipped him to resign. What people should understand is that the decision to introduce the bill was not by itself an isolated act. If you look at it, it was a broader scheme by the MSM. Prosecution, the DPP being tried to take the powers away from the DPP, protecting those close to the regime, or those who would dare to go and speak in their eye, in their ear. All this was happening. What they did was confiscate the major institutions of the country who were supposed to uphold justice and democracy in our country. The goal of my government is to put in place a system that those who break the law will have to face the legal consequences regardless of who they are. And certainly not a politique de vengeance, as they did, where charges were brought against political opponents. I was a victim. Charges were brought, and then they tried to concoct evidence, fabricate evidence. You know, lawyers will know what it means. What a dangerous thing to do is to fabricate false evidence. I have been through this. I know what they did. Not a political politique de vengeance, but true accountability. That's what we want. A system where institutions will function freely, diligently, and without any interference.